Guys. The face you tried to hide, I'm in love
All right, it is time for another episode of Drinks at Sunset with
The Wise Guys.
I'm J. Anthony McCarthy,
I'm Steve Sabo.
and we are two men of a certain age. I almost caught you with your drinking
I
out
was
there.
drinking before I said my
Before
name.
you got your name
I
out.
know.
We're two men of a certain age trying to make it as actors and entertainers out here in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, in the industry known as show business. And
That's right.
this is just us talking about our day-to-day lives and how we do to try and keep ourselves alive in the industry and also just keep ourselves alive and interested and viable as human beings. And we appreciate you taking the trip with us. We are available on X-Site Radio at 11 p.m. on Thursday nights, which we're assuming that's what you're listening to. You can also catch our previous episodes on iTunes if
And
you
you
want to look
might
it
be
up.
picking us up on syndicated other radios, other stations, other podcasts. I think we're doing Fridays at other places. So welcome if you're hearing us on those as well.
Right. We appreciate that. If you want to reach out to us at any point in time, when you take a peek at our website, thewiseguys.net. That is thewiseguys.net. And if you want to actually say something to us, our email address is that's two S's, sswiseguys at AOL.com. If you have a comment for the show, if there's something that's interesting to you that you'd like to hear more about, anything that you'd like to reach out to us on, that's where you can do it. And finally, if you want to see what we've done in the past.
Well, we have a YouTube channel, The Wise Guys TV. It's also our Twitter handle, The Wise Guys TV. So either way, you can check out our videos. Got some things that aren't on the website on YouTube and vice versa, as well as if you want to tweet, we will be happy to tweet back to you.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's how you can. That's how you keep up with us. And well, as usual, we just kind of start by checking out how we've been doing and getting through our week. So I'm gonna ask you, since I'm already talking. How was your week? How you doing?
How was
man?
my week?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
You talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my week was pretty typical.
Okay.
So I got two part-time jobs that I'm getting through, and working those good. I'm putting back the writer's hat back on. I'm really going to take a proactive approach on our web series. I'd like to, hopefully we'll be able to pick that up again at the start of football season. But I want to have some ideas solidified, if not episodes written,
Okay.
so we're not struggling.
Right. We picked the winners.
We picked the winners with the Wise Guys, and so been doing that, spending some time on that.
Nice.
Also, as you know, because you went with me one week, we would go and I have been going to the track on the weekends.
Yeah.
Santa Anita Racetrack. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. It's huge. It's
Yeah.
set backdrop with the mountains. It's just spectacular. Very peaceful, and then you got horse racing, you got activity, you got people. There's all kinds of things going on. It's very relaxed, I think.
Yeah.
A relaxed environment, yet it still gives you a minute of excitement, minute and a half, depending on how long the race is.
Yeah.
Every half hour, so it's nice.
It's a great facility. When I went with you on your birthday,
Yeah.
we went there to celebrate his birthday, and first time I've ever been to a track, and or around any of that type of gambling or anything like that. It's pretty
Right.
amazing.
This thoroughbred racing, not harness racing.
Right.
Because what I got brought up on, or where my dad took me to the racetrack, was harness racing up in Buffalo.
Right.
And thought it was the coolest thing ever. And, but we didn't do it on a regular basis. That was kind of a one-off or two-off here and there.
Right.
And so it made it special, of course, but it could have been something neat that we did other than go to football games all the time,
Right.
and hockey games, which was also really cool too.
Right.
But anyway, so I've been doing that on the weekends, or I should say on Sundays, and having fun. Placing my $2 bets.
Yep.
I'm not getting rich, but then again, I'm not going broke. I'm usually up a couple of bucks, so I'm happy about that.
Yep. And I enjoyed it myself when I went. I enjoyed learning about the track and learning about it. Getting to see the horses is just astonishing. These animal athletes, these amazing, well-bred, thoroughbred, animals, and also even just finding out that each race is not the same thing.
No.
You know, that's the thing. Each race, sometimes there's a different distance.
Yep.
And there's two different types of
Surface?
that they can race on. They can race on grass or they can race on
Dirt.
On dirt, and, you know, turf or dirt. And it's pretty cool.
And it's very picturesque. I mean, when I first went there, and I saw them. I mean, you have no choice because you're looking straight ahead, and right in front of you, or right behind the track is a mountain range, and it's just spectacular. I mean, you can't ask for anything more, to me, more picturesque from a racetrack, other than maybe some beautiful oak trees and and things like that. But oak trees not existent. Mountains next best thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like I said, it's a big, huge facility. Lots of activity going on. They have a bar, they have restaurants, they have great food. You have the element of gambling if you want to wager a couple of bobs, and as long as you're not going crazy, and not being, putting yourself in a situation where you need to do that.
Right.
It's an enjoyable evening or enjoyable time, a way to spend time. So
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
And anybody that wants to go out there, of course, the food that's out there and everything. You're a captive audience like anywhere else. It's not cheap, but it's not horrible. And
$7 for a sandwich is
for a small sandwich.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
for you a small sandwich. That sucker filled me up.
Well, good. But so that's been part of your weekends and stuff like that. You feel like that's providing you with any background for any of the stuff that you're working on?
I would love to get Vinny and Big Paulie out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely love. I think we got the space. They certainly don't mind cameras coming through. The last time I went, they had the Bachelorette go through with their camera crew because that was one of the Bachelorette's dates. I guess they're down to the final 3 or 4 or whatever. And apparently that's where the Bachelorette took the date. And, they did a couple of takes walking down the stairs and waving to the horses, taking little cart rides on the track and stuff. So, and I know they're also running a film contest, which I think ends in middle of April, first week or second week of April. So they're actively, out there looking at the film industry saying, hey, how can we help? How can we be a part of it? And I think they're giving away $5,000 top prize for a 5-minute video about the track.
Nice.
But I would absolutely love, and think it'd be a great backdrop to Big Paulie and Vinny 2 times. Even if it's just we pick the winners.
Right.
Yeah, we do it on the races. So
right.
It'd be great.
So, and it's as you said, it's a heck of a place to watch people and stuff like that, and you get all kinds of different people, and it's not your typical. It's odd to say this, but it's not your typical LA crowd.
No,
it's a different.
It's a family crowd.
Yeah, in ways, yeah.
Last week I was there, and there was a lot of kids running around because it's a lot of space. It's controlled, so and then you got the infield, which they actually have a play area. They have swing sets and monkey bars and all this kind of stuff, jolly jumpers and stuff. So, and then from time to time, if not once a month or twice a month, they have big activities. I think last week was the barbecue.
Yeah, it was a barbecue competition.
Barbecue Fest. In a couple of weeks, it's the Santa Anita Derby, which is the big race. It's $1 million prize.
Right.
So that'll bring a lot of people. We should go to that one. That's going to be a great event.
And
it's kind of like the Kentucky Derby of Santa Anita.
Yeah.
So
it was fun to be there also just because of the history of that place. I mean, that was Seabiscuit's track.
That's right.
For anybody who's seen the movie, read the book, knows anything about it, that was the place. That was so being around that. So that's cool. So that's been your week. That's kind of what you're kind of putting yourself into and everything else. That's nice.
Like you said, what I didn't remember the first time, or because I haven't been there in a while, and we went on my birthday, was I thought the races would come like every 5 to 10 minutes, but there's a good half hour in between each race.
As they set up stuff.
That's how they run there's 8 races. You start at noon, you're done around 4 o'clock, 4:30. And so you're not pressed for time. You're not pressured. You got a lot of time. If you want to go and walk around for 15 minutes, you still got then 15 minutes to figure out if you're going to bet on something or whatever. So you're not. To me, that was refreshing to realize that I didn't have to worry about what I was going to do from a betting standpoint, even though I'm betting $2.
Right.
Under that kind of pressure because I'm not a big horse racing guy. Yeah. But you had plenty of time. If anything, it was just trying to fill the time. Well, let's go over here this time.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where I'm going to talk about this from the standpoint of, the business we're trying to be a part of. It sounds like we've got, we went to the track this weekend. We have this great leisure life. We've got we've got all this money that we can just piss away on, going to the track and betting on horses and stuff like that. It's like, the track is about, about 12, 15 miles outside of Los Angeles.
Yeah, yep.
And
Arcadia.
Yeah, it doesn't. All it costs you is the money to park. So you're paying $5 to $10 to park,
and to get in.
You're
paying $4 to park, and then you have an option. You can go general admission for $5,
right?
Or go club seating, which is $10,
which gives you a little better vantage point. It's a little nicer setup and everything else.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so you're not really spending that much money going in, and if you don't gamble a whole lot, you've got a nice day of stuff that's going on. Or if you pick the right way, like Steve here has been able to do, at least manages to make it pay for his trip.
Yeah. I usually wash.
Yeah, and so this is something where, it would be great if we had a bunch of money to throw away on something like that or all that, but it's actually a relatively inexpensive entertainment for a weekend thing.
Right.
It's like we're still both working jobs that we have to do to pay the bills and stuff like that in between auditions, in between everything else. So.
And the other thing about it, Tony, is, and I was telling somebody at lunch today, a guy I work with at the Vortex, the door company, that you can become very isolated in this business.
Boy.
You can justify staying inside, indoors, because of it may rain, it's windy. I don't want to drive there. That traffic. It's killing. I don't want to go through the traffic. I don't want to deal with the hassle of the traffic. I'll never find a parking spot. I'm going to drive around for a half hour looking for a parking spot. I don't want to drive all the way there for 15 minutes just to to spend 45 minutes to find a place to park. Or I have 50 places I have 50 things I can do tonight. I don't want to choose. I'll just stay home.
Yep.
And literally, you'll spend months not ever leaving your place. So, and you're going to, if
for
you're listening.
Other than work or something like that.
Yeah. And so you're going to say to yourself, well, how can that be? You're in Los Angeles. Well, it's because of all the things that surrounds and is part of this beast of city called Los Angeles. And literally, you become cabinized, or whatever you want to call it. You're isolated on an island. So this, by getting in the car, it's an easy drive because you're driving at the time when the roads aren't congested.
Right.
I think the first races on usually are either at noon to 1 o'clock. Noon, 12:30 or 1 is when they start. So you're not busting your butt trying to get through traffic to get there. When the races are over, depending on how many people are there, it's a leisurely drive back because it's usually not that crowded. Mm-hmm. And it gets you out of the freaking house.
Yep.
And you're still being able to observe people, which is a part of what we do as actors on our free time.
Yeah.
Is we're always trying to be that observer of what's going on around us so we can tap into some of that, either what we see or indirectly or subconsciously to be able to pull off of that as a character.
Right.
So, and like I said, it's really, really important for your soul to get out of the freaking house and just be part of whatever's going on around you. And for me, it's a good excuse.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things where, for whoever may be listening to this, depending upon where you are in your life, what your age is, what is your job? What is your day job? What is the job that you have? When I was younger, when I was in my, teens and 20s, I worked at restaurants. And so much of my leisure time was spent with the people that I worked with because I was having fun with them. We would drink together. We would go out. There was so much, the guys and the girls getting together and all this stuff. It was fantastic. You wind up in other types of jobs that will allow you that kind of an opportunity to socialize and be around people that you appreciate and stuff like that. But sometimes in Los Angeles, and again, I'm telling you what goes on. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, poor us." These are the choices we've made.
Exactly.
What I'm saying though is
eyes
that,
wide open.
Is that some of the jobs that we do to make ends meet kind of almost isolate us in ways, because
Okay.
we have to, we have to go in, do the job, and then go somewhere else to be available for, if we have to be in an audition. So rather than hanging out with some of the people that you work with, or even necessarily having a job that has people to hang out with, like your job right now,
I had nobody hanging around.
it's not like you go into an office with a bunch of guys and then you all go out. It's like, no,
No, I've been there 6 months. The first time I went to lunch with somebody.
yeah. So
6 months. And it's only because he came and helped me because my car battery, I ran the radio too long and my battery died on me. And he came from where he was out of his territory to run and give me a jump. And I figured I owed him at least a lunch for that.
Yeah.
And so I took him to lunch today.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there you go. I mean, it's one of those things. And my job, one of my day jobs, I worked this week, and I'm working a lot this week.
Yeah,
which
what
is
was
nice.
your week like, Tom?
I work part-time for UCLA as a massage therapist.
Yes, you do.
I brought in on call. I've been doing massage therapy for 20 years. I'm fully certified in the state of California.
Correctamundo.
And, have all the insurance and all the stuff that I'm supposed to do to be a viable business. I work for them and go in, and I'll work on... Sometimes I'll work on the students if they've asked for us to come in, particularly during exam time. Will the local resident advisor, the RA, will say, okay, we're going to have a social night for all the kids on my hall, and we want the massage therapist to come in for 2 hours or 3 hours and give everybody a massage to try and calm them down for their exams.
So wait, let me get this straight. So you're massaging
Yes.
beautiful young college-age students.
Let's put it this way: some of them are. Yeah.
So let me get this straight.
Some of them are. Yeah.
And you don't need somebody to towel them off or to powder them up or oil them?
These are chair massages, so there's
chair massage.
no clothes come off, none of that stuff. I'm not using exotic oils or anything like that.
You don't
This is
need
all-
somebody to warm up the oil for you?
No,
Because
sorry.
Vinny's available.
Yeah, I sort of figured that. But yeah, no, it's
to rub down your forehead while you.
but it's one of those things where I get to meet a lot of people and it's great. But
Yes, you do.
At my age, there's not a whole lot of those girls that are hopping off the chair and jumping into my arms. I look
That's a
like
shocker.
I look like their dad, or in some cases probably their granddad. So it's not that.
How you doing?
Yeah, and it's also like, as a massage therapist, that's also I believe it or not, I'm a health professional. So there are certain things that you just don't cross the line with. So I'm not
No, I
I'm not sitting
understand.
there trying to pick up my massage clients.
No, Vinny would, but not
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Well, at the same time, I recognize the fact that so some of the people that I work on are beautiful. I'm not sitting there going, "Wow, you're beautiful." No, first of all, massages, you can feel the energy of the person that's working on you.
Yeah.
And if I had that kind of energy when I worked on somebody, man, I would be brought up on charges. I don't know what he did, but I felt terrible when we were done. Yeah, I can't do that. I can't afford to do that. But it's also, these are groups of people who, they are their own microcosms. They are their own worlds. It's
Yes.
not like they're suddenly going to invite me to hang out with them or anything like that.
Right.
And so within the realms of what we're doing, we can become very isolated. It's very easy to kind of disappear. I can't tell you how easy it is for me to just piss away hours in front of the computer doing stuff that doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, like there's a game that I do.
Okay.
It's a Marvel Avengers Alliance on Facebook. I get to
Oh.
have all these different, superheroes that I've earned over a period of time. And so by playing the game, it feels like I've accomplished something because I just got a new uniform. Oh, I just got the new superhero. Oh, I just got something to add to make them more powerful. I'm really progressing in my life. No, I'm pissing away time in front of a
So
computer.
you really don't have a life.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm depressed and frustrated about the fact that this week we didn't have any auditions or anything like that.
Marble Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's really easy to just kind of
Exactly.
disappear.
Exactly.
And I think that can happen at any age, but as we are, getting older, that it's even easier because there doesn't seem to be as much social scene for us. Doesn't mean it's not out there. Part of it is also where our priorities are. It's like
Yeah.
I would love to have a
The
person
other
in
part
my
is
life.
it costs money to do
Yeah.
that too, and
I'd love to have a
we
person.
have to make choices in our industry because you're literally, we are starving artists in a lot of respects. So I mean, I could go and spend $30 and go out, but I need that $30.
Yeah.
I need to put that in the gas tank so I can drive for next week.
Yeah.
And is it worth a burger and fries at a restaurant and a couple of drinks? No, it's not.
And like I said, I'd love to have somebody in my life. I'd love to find somebody who, loved me and wanted to be with me and everything else. But at the same time, what can I offer them right now?
Yeah,
I
that's
can
the other
offer
part.
them.
Yep.
I can offer them. I'm a good guy. Generally speaking, I'm a good guy, right? I'm also a superior massage therapist.
You can offer them
Okay.
that. Yep.
Now, when it comes to providing for a family and doing stuff like that, not so much. I'm not
No,
really in a good
it'd
position to
be
do
a
that.
lifestyle change.
Yeah.
I mean, I could offer somebody that, but I'd have to move back into a more traditional lifestyle, which would be a 9-to-5 job, and,
Right.
and then go through that. And I thought about it. I've thought about it on what that would mean and what that would take, and we talked about it last week a little bit as well. But I'm not ready to do that.
Right.
I'm not ready to do that right now, and hopefully I'll never be ready to do that.
Yeah, yeah, and that is one of those big deals. So from the standpoint of my week, so what's been going on? I worked several times for UCLA. I've got another one coming up this Sunday at 6:30 in the morning. There's a 5K run where I have to show up and take care of people. So I'm making a little bit
You
of
don't
money.
have to run and massage. Do
No,
you?
no. They come to us. They come to us after they're done when they're all sweaty and disgusting. But
Because that'd be a 5-meter run.
yeah, exactly. Okay, we're done.
That's right.
That's all going on. My play is still going very well. We actually got 3 very solid reviews on the play.
And?
3 different groups of people that said they really enjoyed. One reviewer was mixed.
Okay.
But there were still aspects of it that he enjoyed, and so it's like, okay, I'm willing to go see a show that's mixed. The other 2 reviewers loved the show.
There you go.
It was energetic, exciting, et cetera, et cetera. It's a fun show.
It's a quorum.
Yeah,
You get a quorum of
we got a quorum of stuff. The thing that's fun for me about doing this show is anybody who's done classic literature and everything else. If you've ever done Tartuffe or read Tartuffe, the translation we're using is a guy from Great Britain, a guy named Ranjit Bolt. Mm-hmm. Not everybody uses his translation because it's a little more modern. It's not that we're speaking purely modern phrases. It's still all done in verse and everything else. It's just that I think it kind of is a little cleaner than some of the other stuff. It's not as convoluted in expressing its ideas. Even though, yes, it'll take 2 or 3 couplets to finish a sentence. But it's a fun show. The guy who directed it, Jeff Soroka, is really super aware of rhythm and pacing, and this, I feel like a show that could easily...
It's almost like song lyrics.
Yeah, but a show that could easily drag doesn't.
Oh,
because
good.
we can't let it be. Part of it is because of the way we were directed, and part of it is the way we finally recognized it because of the way we were directed. It's like, oh yeah, if we take our time and take a pause, because we want everybody to understand what we just said.
A pregnant pause, yeah.
There's suddenly you can just hear the
Air sucked out of the room.
all the air sucked out of the room.
Yep.
It's like somebody threw open the door on a space shuttle.
Yep.
And by taking just a short, I'm done with that, and moving on. Just enough, or pausing when the people laugh, which is nice because we do have to do that fairly often during the show.
Nice.
That's
Very
been a
good.
pleasure.
Oh yeah, great.
So that's going well. And here's one of the things I wanted to talk about from that standpoint is the idea of recognizing the positive.
Oh, okay.
And recognizing the power of the positive. Now, I've probably talked about this a little bit in the past. I'm old. I don't remember everything. Okay, so bear with it. But the fact of the matter is that have I had an audition this week? No.
Okay.
The end of last week, my episode of Rake played, so that came on the air.
Yes, it did.
My 48 picoseconds on television.
You did great.
I thank you very much. I
You did
appreciate
good.
it.
I mean,
It's
you had 3 good scenes.
yes. Mhm.
And even though you only had dialogue in one, there were cutaways to you for moving the story along with reaction shots, which were really good. So,
Right, and that's part of why they hired me is because I give good face apparently,
you
So
give good face.
but it's one of those things where so that happened and that's successful, but that's a job I've already worked, so I've already been paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's if it reruns, then I'll see a residual, but until then, I'm not worried about it. It's still a representation of success. I did that. I
Absolutely.
booked it. I did it. It's
There's
on
proof.
the air, and somebody saw it. the work that I'm doing right now, being the massage therapist and everything, it's not positive in that, oh, you're doing something specific for your career. No, but it is because I'm paying my bills, I'm whittling away at my debt, and making sure that I'm available for those auditions, for those shows when they come up. And, just trying to make sure I look at that and appreciate that, as opposed to going, oh my God, I didn't have an audition this week. I didn't have an audition last
Right.
week. Oh my God, I had a voiceover audition. I sent it in, but I don't know if it got in on time. I haven't seen anything from anybody. Oh my God, it is so easy to just crawl up your own butt with that kind of worry. And going back to what you said earlier, just disappearing into your little cave.
Right.
And, all of a sudden time's passed and you're another year older and it's like, wait a minute, this is not appropriate. So just trying to recognize the positive and appreciate that.
No, I hear you. In fact, I had a little bit of that today at lunch. The guy who I took to lunch he's been with the company 6 years, doing what I've been doing for 6 years.
Wow.
But he's older, so it's kind of, it's a part-time job, and that's how he treats it. If I need time off, I take time off. But, they're flexible with that. And I said to him, I go, well, I started in September, and I'm coming up to, here we are, coming up to April.
Right.
Which means in a few months, we're going to be starting to hit the hottest part of the year here.
Right.
So I have only worked in, quote, the coolest time of the year, or, of what LA's winter is, okay?
Yeah.
So
September
I said
was
to him,
pretty hot, though.
Yeah.
September and October were pretty hot.
Yeah, but I
so.
started end of September, so
Yeah.
so I got a tail end of it. So I said, well, what's this job like in the summer? And he goes, well, I like, and this is what he said to me. He goes, I like to think of it the other way around. He goes, I could spend $75, all right, and get on a bike in a gym, or I can go out and work this job because I have to walk, and then after the bike ride in the gym, I can go sit in the sauna and steam myself, or I can just go out and do my job, and I'm getting paid $75 a day to do it.
To sweat and yeah.
And so, I either pay to go to the gym or I'm getting paid to do it. So it's just kind of how you look at it. And I go,
Right.
you know what, you're damn right. It is. So I can sit and bitch about how hot it is, but, I am getting paid, or
Right.
will be getting paid, and, there's worse things in the world to be getting paid to do.
Yep. Yep.
And the other thing, I pulled this off the internet. I thought it was kind of interesting point of view of what the actor, kind of how actors see things. And this was a little Facebook post that that this person put out into the world.
Oh, wow.
It
Okay.
says, "Thank you, universe, for my commercial audition today. Keep them coming. P.S. I was good. I was on time, polite, and prepared. However, the production company holding the auditions was unprofessional, rude, running extremely late, and all for a product that I would never use if they gave it to me. Thanks anyways."
Well, there you go. Yeah.
But that's kind of our world, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We have to be on time, prepared, and polite. The production company could be whatever the hell they want, and it
Yep.
could be for something we're not even interested in. But guess what? We want to get paid doing it.
Yeah,
So
and,
you
and we still need to be polite and everything else
Exactly.
because that the person at the production company who's running around knowing that everything's blown up in their face and everything,
Yeah.
they're going to remember the people. They're going to remember the people who made their day a little nicer
that's
just
true.
by being on time, polite, and prepared.
But you can see how you can look at this commercial audition
Right.
and say, this is not even a product I even would use if you gave it to me. What
Yeah.
the hell am I doing? Why
Right.
am I getting running around in traffic?
I drove across LA for
All
an
the negative,
hour
right.
to get here. It took me 20 minutes to park.
To get
I paid
somebody
$5.
to get somebody to dump on me in a production company because they're rude and they're late. It has nothing to do with me, but they're in a bad mood.
Right.
And then I'm in and out in 30 seconds.
Right. I spent an hour to get here for 30 seconds. I'm going to spend an hour to get home.
And an hour to get home.
Guess
but
what? That's an audition.
That's an audition, and
That's
I'm
an
thankful
audition.
for it.
Yeah.
And the flip side of that is, hey, I'm prepared, I'm polite, and I'm professional, and thank you for the audition. So
Yes.
it's all how you look at it.
And that's exactly right. I like that. I like that a lot. So, and that's exactly what I wanted to talk about from that standpoint.
Well,
so,
I got another little tidbit for you.
All right, I'm listening.
This is an article on the internet. One of the things that I wanted to make sure
And while we're talking about all that, I just got a voiceover audition sent to me by my my voiceover agent.
All right, let's
So I
high
gotta-
five on that.
All right, so
All right, there we go. That's
so
how
I
it
get
works.
I get to send her a note saying,
Literally, that's how it works.
Yep.
Hey, I got an audition. I got to change my schedule, but that's okay. It's a good thing. Or I now have a schedule.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Instead of changing it. But back to this article I saw. 2009, we got together. We were together coming up with a strategy on how to promote ourselves as actors. Remember?
Right.
We called it our power meeting or whatever we called
Right.
it. What was it?
It was responsibility, or what was it? What's the word? I can't think of it right now because my brain is boiled
That's right.
and it doesn't work. So.
That's okay. But we met. We were getting together, and you were telling me about your Ann Boris stuff.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I've been talking about for a year that we should self-produce. And
Right.
you're kind of now in touching into that with Ann Boris. It wasn't a production aspect, but you're still involved with what we call the internet because
Right.
these were what we call web series or videos for the internet.
Right.
And at the time, YouTube was just becoming the entity.
It was starting to break out.
Starting to
yes.
break out,
Yeah.
right. And I said, well, we can do that. And so we wrote, we produced The Wise Guys.
Right.
And then it evolved to, we picked the winners with The
Right.
Wise Guys. And then it evolved into Roommates of the 21st Century, and then
Right.
Dorito commercials and one-offs and sketch comedies and so on. So 75 videos later, a couple of years later, we have a YouTube channel that's getting X amount of heads. But I also, while this was all going on in the beginning stages, was following some of the YouTube channels that were actually doing and making a name for themselves.
And making money,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, Shane Carl was one of them.
Okay.
Shay Carl, and the other one was
See, it helps if we write this stuff down, huh?
Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson.
Okay.
And those two guys at the time were getting hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They were getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views for their videos, but they were doing them every couple of days. I mean, Shay Carl was doing it every day. He was doing what's called a vlog,
Right.
which is a daily
Video
video
blog.
A blog, yeah. But it was about his family. He had cute kids and a beautiful wife, and he was a big fat guy with a beard. So why wouldn't people watch, right?
Right.
And these guys created a popularity and a following, and they got together, and there was probably about 10 of them, these YouTube channels, and they became what they call Maker Studios. And they became Maker Studios about a year ago, if not a year and maybe two at the most.
Nice.
And they got a grant from YouTube, about, I don't know if it was 10 million or 100 million. They got a grant from YouTube. They made Maker Studios, and we actually submitted the Wise Guys, but you needed 50,000, minimum of 50,000 views a month
Right.
in order to be considered to be part of under the umbrella of Maker Studios, because they have now 380 channels, YouTube channels, over 30 million subscribers, whatever the numbers are. Well, guess what?
What?
So here's these little guys who started out like us,
Right.
worked hard because it's hard work, got themselves some juice and buzz around them, got a following, parlayed that into a bigger channel called Maker Studios, and now got bought out by Disney for $500 million.
Really?
Yeah,
Good for them.
bought out by Disney, $500 million.
Half a
So
billion
here's
bucks. Half a billion
2009, yeah, 2009 to now.
2014.
Half a bill. And this guy,
5 years.
Shay Carl, who's basically, the only reason he's on the map because one of the other YouTube channels threw him a bone and gave him a shout out,
Right.
which got him from 500 followers to 50,000 to 100,000 to 300,000 followers in a week.
Right.
Because this other big channel said, "Hey, go look at this guy. He's pretty good."
Right.
And he already had a 500,000 followers, so most of them did, and that got him on the map, and that got him going,
And he obviously had a good enough whatever he was putting
Right,
out
yeah.
that
Well,
people,
the kids
once
and the
they
wife, yeah.
subscribed, they were like, oh, I'm going to keep subscribing to him, So.
Exactly. So $500 million later. So that's kind of how this industry. That's the
Extreme.
the chimpanzee to man evolution, or we want to call amoeba to man evolution of what can happen out here in a very short period of time. I mean, you look at
That's
2009.
astonishing.
That's not 2008, 2009 is not that far. That's 4 or 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, 5
5
years. So there it is, guys. Half a bill. Not
years
too
to half a
shabby.
bill.
Congratulations,
Congrats to those guys.
Maker Studios. I know there's more than just those couple of guys, but you know that's what's going on right now with
Wow.
the internet.
Wow. By the way, I do have a small amount of debt, so if anybody over there, wanted to just like throw their pocket change my way because you're worth $500 million now, it would help me a lot.
Well, you know,
So-
let's not get greedy. The Wise Guys is available.
Yes, the Wise Guys are available for for
We pick
functions.
the winners, Wise
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
roommates of 21st century. Any one of those will be happy to help. Let's talk a little bit about movies, shall
All
we?
right, I'd love to. I see.
All right, I got some numbers for you.
Okay.
I'm going to throw some stuff out there. I'm going to have you see what you think.
All right.
Divergent just came out.
Right.
Okay.
I know that it topped the box office this
Top
past
the
year.
box office.
This
What would you
past
say
weekend.
that they did this? They've been out for I think this was the opening weekend. What do you think they did?
Well, it was based on a what's supposed to be a relatively popular tweens book or something like that.
Okay, I don't
and
know
if-
anything about it, but go ahead.
If they're the big thing that hit, and we're going towards summer, but it's not quite summer season yet. For them to top the box office, they probably did 40 million, somewhere in that
pretty
neighborhood.
good, pretty good guess. 54.6 mil.
Oh wow, that's
Yep.
actually solid. That's really
the
solid.
movie cost 85 mil to make.
Oh wow,
But for
okay.
an opening weekend, that's a strong opening. And they averaged 13,870 per theater, because it's a widespread theater. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Muppet movie, The Muppet Most Wanted.
Which I saw.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I enjoyed it thoroughly. yeah.
Okay. What do you think they did? It was also out this week. Was the first week.
So they came in second, I'm guessing.
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I just wrote down some numbers.
I think I don't know because there's a lot of people that like the Muppets. It's a family thing
Mm-hmm.
and everything else. I'm betting they did somewhere around 36 to 40 themselves.
Little bit high. They did 17 mil.
That's terrible.
Cost 50 mil to make. It's only been out a week. All right, Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
I've heard
Been out 3 weeks now.
Yeah, I've heard nothing good about that particular thing. It's a
Okay.
shame. Because it should have been fun and everything else, but I haven't seen it. But it's not getting a whole lot. I'd be willing to bet if they were lucky, they did 5 mil.
No, it's 3 weeks in, so I can't tell you what they did last week.
Oh,
what the
okay.
total
So
is
3
for
weeks
3
in.
weeks. Yep.
Total for 3 weeks. I'm going to guess. Actually, I'm going to guess less than the Muppets in 1 weekend. I'm going to say they have. They're at 15 mil.
Okay. Wrong.
Okay.
81 mil.
What?
Yeah, 81 mil. It cost 145 to make. So they
Jeez,
got a ways
right.
to go. But the 3 weeks in, 81 mil, that's 30, 35 a week. Not even. No, it's 25 a week. 20, 30 a week. 30, 35 a week. That's right. Okay. God's not dead.
Okay.
All right. This is the opening week.
Right.
What do you think they did? Have you heard anything about it?
I know a little bit about it. I think that in the particularly in the Bible Belt where it's
First thing I'm going to say, it's a small independent production, so it's not a major studio video
Mm-hmm. Right.
or film.
I think where it will do well, it's done very well. But I'm willing to bet it isn't huge numbers. Say 10 mil.
10 mil, very close.
Okay.
9.2,
Okay.
but it did 11,850 per theater because it was a very limited, only 300 theaters
Right.
as opposed to 2,000 theaters.
Yeah.
So this did excellent.
Yeah.
Its opening week because
Yeah.
it was very limited.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they understood their target audience because of
absolutely.
where they opened that film.
Probably,
so,
yeah,
You know.
yeah. All right, 300 Rise of an Empire.
Okay.
Third weekend, where are they at?
I don't think they're doing that well. It's not as good as the first one. I enjoyed it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not as good as the first one. Third weekend, they're at 48 mil.
48 will? No. Third week, they're at 93.5.
Wow.
Cost 110 to make.
Okay, so they're getting close to.
110 or 120. I can't read my writing. And the Muppets could be 27 or 17. I can't read my writing. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I wrote it fast. Okay, here's one I know you're going to like.
Okay.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh yeah,
Grand
the
Budapest
new
Hotel.
Wes Anderson film.
Third weekend, where are they at?
It's got a solid underground going. I'm going to say 60 mil.
No, very wrong. And it's only because it's a very limited release. 12.9 mil.
Wow, I'm off by a factor of 5. That's
yeah,
terrible.
but it's averaging 22,390. So
Per theater.
per theater.
So from
So
the standpoint of the release.
it's doubling what God's Not Dead, but it's 3 weeks in. So
Okay.
so it's about doing what God's Not Dead. Okay, here's one. The Lego
Lego
movie.
movie,
All
yeah.
right, 7 weeks in. Where's it at?
All right, so the Lego Movie is a popular film. It's one that I would actually go see again.
Oh, you saw it?
I saw it.
Oh man, why?
I go to matinees. I go to matinees to kill time,
Fair enough, fair
between auditions or when I have to, wait between traffic and all that
Fair
stuff.
enough. All right.
You're usually working.
I'm
so,
usually working.
Yeah.
Oy vey.
Because it's popular, because it's done very well, because
7
it's a kids' movie, 7 weeks in, I'll bet you it's somewhere around 250 million.
243.
Okay,
Very good.
So I'm off. I'm still going high.
It
but,
cost 60 mil to make.
so they're doing fine.
So here's what they're doing. They're going 1 million, 2. They're counting their money.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
counting their money. They're just rolling in it.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a very good. Okay.
But it's a deserving film. It's just such a fun, sweet, ridiculous
Well,
fun
here,
movie.
speaking of fun, sweet, and ridiculous, Frozen. 18 weeks in.
Oh,
What's it done?
I don't. 900.
900 mil.
Yeah.
900 mil. You can't have that much dead space. You got to say something.
Yes.
Yes,
900
no,
mil.
no, but I can understand where you're coming from because
Okay.
18 weeks, 397.
Okay, that's not good. Yeah, but
Well,
they
no,
did great.
it's
and
fun.
this is all domestic. This isn't talking about
I don't
foreign
know if
release
this
or
is
anything
world
like that.
or I think it may be,
I think this
but
is
it
all
cost
domestic.
150 to make, so
they're
they're
doing
rolling.
fine.
Yeah, they're
They're
making
doing
some
fine.
money. All right, here's one nominated for Best Picture,
Okay.
Oscar, and won the Best Picture Oscar.
Okay.
12 Years a Slave,
Right.
23 weeks in,
Right.
almost 6 months now. Where's it at?
I bet you it's not as good as some of the others just because it's got such a heavy subject matter. It's an excellent film. 150.
150. 56 mil.
Holy
which gives you an idea that Oscar does, money, box office hit does not mean Oscar.
Yeah.
All right, cost 20 to make though. They still made, they still doubled their money. You can't beat that. All right, American Hustle, Oscar nominated Best
Right,
Picture.
right.
15 weeks in, where are we at?
That one I think actually had better buzz from the standpoint of audiences going to see it.
Okay, I like the way you're thinking.
I'm gonna say 72.
72. No, 149.
So off by half. All right.
But that's okay. But you're on the right track.
Okay.
You thought more of the 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
Cost 40 to make.
So they're good.
Oh, they're doing real well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even with all the big
that's
stars
a good
and everything.
return. I mean, you think about it. If you're going to invest in a movie,
Yep.
you want to double your money,
Right.
or at least get your money back plus whatever you can. And if you're doubling or tripling your money, you're doing pretty good. All right.
That's one of those things that I hear more and often about is the idea that a lot of these small companies will do a horror movie first because the cost for making a horror movie and
Minimal.
the audience that's out there that wants to watch horror movies is huge.
Yes, and it's a cash cow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
all right, going on from what was
Okay.
your next one?
Gravity,
All right.
Oscar nominated movie
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Best Picture, but
Which cost a lot to make, I'll bet.
but Oscar winner, but not in the Best Picture, but won a lot of Oscars
Mm-hmm.
for all the technical aspect. 25 weeks in,
Right?
2 more weeks than 12 Years a Slave.
Right.
Where are we at?
152 mil.
152 mil. Very close. 273.
Not even close.
No, but you know.
273 mil? That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And what did it cost to make? Like 100 something?
100 mil.
Yeah. So-
But they almost
they're-
tripled their money.
Yeah, they're doing
They
fine.
almost tripled their money. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. If you're going to spend 100 mil and then you're going to tell me I'm going to get 300 back.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'll take that.
Where do I sign?
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, here's
So-
one for you.
All right.
Oh. Hunger Games.
Yes.
Catching Fire.
Catching Fire.
Only 18 weeks out.
All right.
I thought it was out more.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
That one's doing fine. They're
You think?
yeah. They're
That one's doing fine.
that one's doing fine.
That one's
I'm-
doing it. It's only
I'm-
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence and as Katniss Everdeen in the second part of the series.
How
and
am I?
everything else.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I'm gonna guess 306 mil.
306.
Yes.
You got that 6 in there, right?
Yeah,
You feel
right.
secure on that 6?
Sure.
424.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's good.
That's almost a half a bill.
Yeah.
Cost 130 to make.
So they're doing fine.
Oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
130, but can you imagine just saying, well, we got a budget of 130. Is it enough? I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Yeah.
130, that's $1 million, people. Millions.
Yep.
All right. Finally, the last one I wrote down, Thor, The Dark,
Dark
World.
World.
out 20 weeks.
Right.
So right around the same time as Slave and Gravity, a little bit more than Hunger Games.
And I'll bet
Where are we at?
it's about time for the DVD to come out and everything else, right? Isn't it? This is coming out
Oh,
soon?
it's already out.
It's already out.
I've
Okay.
seen it. It was out a couple weeks ago.
All right, so but we're just talking about box office gross.
Yeah, just box office.
I'll bet it's around 270 million.
Close.
Okay.
206.
All right, so I was
Cost 120.
They're doing all right.
Doing all right, but you can when you look at these numbers and you say, look at the Lego movie, 60 to get 240.
Right.
Frozen, a 150 to get almost 400.
Right.
And then you got American Hustle, 40 to get a $150 almost.
Right. Yeah.
And then Gravity, 1 to get 3.
Right.
Hunger, 130 to get 220.
424.
424.
Right.
And Thor, actually, kind of, when you look at those numbers, 120 to get 206, they're
Right.
barely doubling their money.
Yeah.
That's the surpriser for me. I thought that would be in the 400s, but it didn't do. I don't think it did as well as the first one. I don't think. Oh, what did they got? Oh my goodness, they got an Avengers commercial.
Yep.
Mystique for Charles or Carl's
Jr. and Hardee's. Yeah. X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Did you see the new trailer?
No, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to watching
They
that. At some point.
showed what are they? Centrons? What are they called?
The Sentinels.
They showed the Sentinels in it.
Cool.
Yeah, it is.
I am looking forward to it for a number of different reasons. Not the Quicksilver, unfortunately, because it looks terrible. But
No, this looks cool.
But,
the Quicksilver in the Avengers is the one that's terrible. This is X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Right. No, I think the one in Days of Future Past looks like a punk.
Okay. I'm thinking somebody else. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of Friezo, or whatever his
Yeah.
name, Frozen.
Yeah. But
he's
it's
cool.
Yeah, you mean Iceman?
Iceman, yeah, him
yeah,
too.
so-
I'm thinking.
yeah.
the,
Yeah, it's okay. Bobby Drake,
Invincibles.
Iceman. So
The
that's right.
Invincibles.
Yeah. Frozone. Hurts every time. Hurts every time.
Where's my super suit? Sorry, Sammy, I just had to do it.
Yeah, boy, that. No, I won't go there. I was gonna bring up Morpheus, because of that local L.A. Film critic who told Sam Jackson what a great job he did in the Lexus commercials.
In the Super Bowl commercial. What Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah, like Lawrence Fishburne Jr. and Samuel L. Jackson.
Do you think we all look alike?
Oh my God!
Oh, that was hysterical.
That was a brilliant moment for Samuel L. Jackson. Is fantastic.
Can we get serious for a second?
Of course we can. What do you want to be serious about?
I want to be serious about something that we talked about in some of our previous podcasts. I want to jump back in on it.
Okay.
Cause that I stand behind for charity called Food for the Poor.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's foodforthepoor.org. And what's nice about this is 95% of any donations get to the end game, which is the kids that are hungry.
Right.
So you're not, the money's going to a good cause. And here's the beautiful thing: you have 6 cents. Can you find 6 cents anywhere in the couch, anywhere in your pocket, pennies lying around? I bet you if you went out and just looked around on the ground as you walked in your daily life, you could pick up 6 cents in a day.
Right.
Well, that's how much it costs for the Feed a Kid in Haiti. $44 for a year. That breaks down to 6 cents per meal. That's 3 meals a day for a full year. Only cost $44 for a donation or for a charity. And when you look at that, that's nothing to us.
Right.
And so what I ask is dig into your pockets, find what you can, and give to foodforthepoor.org and feed a kid who's starving today.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I really enjoy the fact that you bring these people up, you've already said it, but I'm going to reiterate it, and it's a good thing to look for in any charity that you're doing. Look for where the money finally goes. The more the money gets to the end care, the more the money gets to the actual research, the more the money gets to the people who actually need it, and not going to the administrators and the people who are putting it together, the better the charity is as far as I'm concerned. You want to find a place where 90 to 95% of everything that you hand over is actually going to the people that are doing it, instead of lining the pockets of in some cases people who really care, and in some cases people who are pretty cynical and just trying to get their own thing. So
Right.
And having said that, I'm also going to remind everybody that the Boys and Girls Club of America does a very good job of that as well, and it's a very important thing in providing guidance for kids at all different levels. So
Excellent place to go.
So,
Absolutely.
I see that you spent a little time looking at some football stuff. And,
Yes,
You
yes.
know, it's always fun for us
I'd like
to talk
to touch
about
a little
that.
bit about it. First thing, I want to start off with a sad note.
All right.
Yesterday, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, Ralph Wilson, passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
95 years old, and he was one of the original AFL franchise owners. I think he's the last one that's now passed away. And a fact that not a lot of people know about, along with all the other good things you can say about Ralph Wilson. The fact that he was never lived in the town that he owned a team, and the franchise was Buffalo, but he's always lived in Detroit, and never sold out the community because he had chances to sell the team and make a lot of money, but it would meant probably that the team would be relocating to another city, so he never would. And he said that as long as I'm alive, the team will never leave Buffalo, and he's a man, and he was a man of his word. So I'll give him credits for that. But one of the many little known facts about Ralph Wilson was it cost $25,000 as a startup entry fee to make a franchise in the AFL.
Right.
And he originally wanted Miami, but someone else had already put a claim on Miami, so he went up and said, okay, I'll take Buffalo. Well, a couple of years in, the Oakland Raiders, owned by Al Davis, or at that time I think Al Davis was the general manager. I don't know if he was the owner at that time.
Right.
But was going through financial problems. And Ralph Wilson loaned the Oakland Raiders $400,000 to keep that franchise afloat.
Wow.
And as a result, you can see what's happened to the Oakland Raiders, winning Super Bowls,
Right.
Creating a whole video game industry from John Madden,
Yep.
and so on. And that a lot of people didn't realize or don't understand the impact he's had not only with the Buffalo Bills but just with football in general. And a great man is passed, and we wish him and his family we send him prayers, and hopefully Buffalo will stay the Bills forever. So
Yeah, that would be good.
So I'll start out with that, and
Right.
we'll move on into some of the free agency moves that's been going on the last 3 weeks.
All right.
All right, big one, of course, is Julius Peppers.
Yeah.
He left the Chicago Bears,
And went to?
went to Green Bay Packers.
Wow, same division. Scary.
So, yeah, that is scary, but it's a good move by Green Bay.
Right.
Peppers. I think he still got some what do they call it, gas and motor in the tank
Yeah,
or whatever.
still got a little gas in the
A
tank
little
there, yeah?
gas in the tank.
Yeah.
All right, so not a man move for Green Bay. Big void left in Chicago.
Right.
Julian Edelman, who was the go-to guy after Wes Welker left,
Right.
is a unrestricted free agent. Could have gone anywhere. Signed back up with the Pats. Good move by the Pats. Tom Brady went, whew,
Yeah.
because Edelman,
It's really nice to have somebody to throw to.
threw him 100 balls last week. But also the Patriots signed Brandon LaFell, who was a Panthers wide receiver. So they got a little outside help there. So couple good moves there. Speaking of my Buffalo Bills, they've signed a couple of players, but the big guy that they got, who were really excited about, is the guy everybody hated in Buffalo, Brandon Spikes.
Oh.
Yeah, we hated him because he was such a monster of a linebacker, and at times dirty, we felt. But that's, of course, we're going to feel that being kicked, because we're being kicked. Our asses are being kicked by them all the time.
Right.
But that allows Kiko Alonso, our rookie sensation, to move outside and be a lot more athletic, because that was kind of not his position, being in
sort
the
of his
middle.
specialty there,
and
right?
putting Brandon Spikes in the middle,
Right.
and Kiko on the outside is kind of a 2-for-1 deal for us. So a great signing there for the Bills.
Right.
Let's see. Okay. Here's a very interesting move. One of the great fantasy players that's been fantasy running back players that's been great in fantasy
Very
for the last
productive, right.
for the last 3-4 years was Adrian Peterson, Adrian Foster.
Arian Foster.
Foster.
Right.
Well, his backup is Ben Tate.
Okay.
And it's really the last year he's almost been split in time with Arian Foster, because Foster's been getting hurt, but also because Ben Tate was drafted in the first or second round as being the guy who was going to be the running back, and it was only because he got hurt his rookie season that Arian Foster actually was put on the map.
Right.
Well, he's starting to come into his own. He signed a contract to go to Cleveland after Richardson left, after they traded Richardson to Indianapolis. So that fills that running back void for Cleveland out of Houston. So
I wish him luck there.
Yeah, that could be a big move for Cleveland. That could really...
if he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy, yeah. Here's a guy that you probably know, being a Pittsburgh fan, Emmanuel Sanders.
Okay.
He went to Denver Broncos.
Oh.
Signed from Pittsburgh. Now, that's going to add a lot of speed and quickness along with Wes Welker. I think that's a much younger Wes Welker you got there.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I think you're right about that. So.
because, they might lose Decker.
Right.
Okay? Because Decker's, he's a free agent.
Didn't we already?
I didn't get to that.
Yeah.
That leads me to Decker.
Okay.
He was a wide receiver, did very well in the Peyton Manning offense.
Right.
Along with Demarius Thomas,
Right.
Wes Welker, Decker. Well, he signed with
You kidding? The New York Jets?
the New York Jets.
Oh.
And you know why?
That's right. Because of that frickin' reality show.
His wife and
I
him
can't
got a
tell
reality
you how much
show.
I hate reality
Yeah,
shows.
well,
Oh my god.
where else do you want to be besides New York if you're going to do a reality show and be playing football?
Yep.
So he signed with the Jets. Emmanuel Sanders is going to basically replace Decker with Denver.
Yeah.
And here's the other one. You're saying, well, what is Denver? What did Denver really lack last year? And it was really exposed in the Super Bowl. What would you say? Was it the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball?
As I recall, it was the defense.
The defensive side of the ball.
that's it.
Well, they made a big signing to kind of shore up a little bit of that.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Ware,
Oh,
defensive end slash
from Dallas.
from Dallas.
Wow.
The dominant player signed with Denver. Now he's going to be the monster on the outside to bookend.
I can't think of his name either. So.
The linebacker.
Yeah, Vaughn.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn.
Not Vince Vaughn. Vaughn Miller.
Vince Vaughn popped in. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but he signed with Denver, so that's going to help them shore up their defense. And we just had a couple of late signings.
I wanted to mention this one.
Which-
Okay. My uncle Tony Catalano lives in Chicago. He's a Chicago guy. I know. And he put up a little thing that he really appreciates because Julius Peppers left Chicago, goes to Green Bay.
Right.
But coming from the Minnesota Vikings,
There we go.
one of the best guys in the business, Jared Allen,
Nice.
has been taken by the Chicago Bears. Now, a little comparison that got thrown up on ESPN that my uncle put up on Facebook.
Yep.
Games, 64 each.
Wow.
Sacks. Julius Peppers, 37.5 in 64 games. Not bad.
Yeah.
Jared Allen in 64 games, 56.5.
Almost a sack a game.
All right. Forced fumbles, 8 and 9. About the same.
Yep.
Okay. Disrupted drop backs. Julius Peppers, 54.5. That ain't bad, right?
Yeah.
Jared Allen, 76.5.
Almost 3 out of 4 plays.
Right, and my uncle is saying, "Hey, is that a Windy City upgrade?"
That's an
yes,
upgrade.
it is.
That's
That is an upgrade.
No doubt about it. Good move by the Bears. The Bears.
The Bears.
And then finally, here's another interesting signing: Michael Vick going to the Jets from Philadelphia to.
So they're definitely getting rid of Sanchez or pushing.
Oh,
him
Sanchez
down.
has already been cut,
Yeah.
and but it's going to be now between him and Geno Smith, right? Who's going to be the quarterback, and,
Right.
and they're going to say that Vic didn't go there to sit on the bench.
Nope.
So that's not too shabby of what's going on in the free agency.
Yep.
And we got next month or in a couple of weeks we got the draft to look forward to, which is always one of my father's favorite things to do.
Yep.
But I think we're getting.
I think
we're getting
we're about
close.
it.
Yeah, we're
So,
running out of time here.
Hey, look, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening to us talk about some of the stuff that we enjoy so much. If you want to reach out to us, we've already told you how to do it. Tune in with us every Thursday night at 11 p.m. on Excite Radio. We appreciate anybody that's been listening to us, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Drinks at Sunset with
The Wise Guys. We're running out of time here.
Hey, look, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening to us talk about some of the stuff that we enjoy so much. If you want to reach out to us, we've already told you how to do it. Tune in with us every Thursday night at 11 p.m. on Excite Radio. We appreciate anybody that's been listening to us, and we'll be back next week with another episode of Drinks at Sunset with
The Wise Guys.
Actually, the same thing since half the time they're just showing commercials.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jesse Eisenberg has been cast to play Superman's archenemy Lex Luthor. Of course, with all the reboots since the original 1980s movies, the list of Superman's weaknesses has been expanded to bad script writing and subpar acting. And that's the Hollywood Rock and Wrap Up. Follow us on Twitter @RockandWrap.